You are now listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Podcast.
Welcome to Ride With Me episode 141. Today is September 20, 2025. And just, again, like I always say before I introduce my guests, I want to go down my spiel here. The hotline, 818-806-8595. People, give it a voice message. Call it, leave a voice message, leave a question. It could be anonymous. You can call it anonymous. And so I don't have to have your phone number. I can use your audio and plug it into the podcast for a future episode. Instagram, Ride With Me Podcast, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, FTA_podcast. And reminder, I'm on Spotify, Pandora, Apple Podcast, Amazon Alexa, YouTube. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on today. Rate on Spotify, review on Apple Podcasts, and comment, follow, share. Thank you for the few followers that followed the Spotify a couple of days ago. I appreciate the love, guys. And sponsor. Let's not forget to sponsor. Rev up your savings with SolarX Insurance. Fast, friendly, and affordable coverage for all drivers, whether you're hitting the highway or on two wheels or need an SR22. Get a quote today and experience the SolarX difference. Call 877-736-4719. That's 877-736-4719 and shift your insurance into high gear. Again, call my boy Juan. He's a real person, guys. And on to my friend Amanda. Amanda, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Amanda, thank you again for doing this very last minute. I've had some people that were like, yeah, we're down and okay, but I never got their notes. And it's like, okay, we start recording in 12 hours. What's going on? My OCD starts to kick in. So thank you for agreeing to do this. And Amanda actually introduced me to last week's guest, Matt. And so it's funny that, it's not funny, but I'm saying in general, TikTok has these communities. You have the MS community, you have the Parkinson's community, you have the Mom Doesn't Love Me community, which I'm a part of, and Amanda laughing over here. And so that's how I came across Amanda, and she, like I said, she introduced me to Matt, and she even was on a live yesterday with like 8 other people, and they're like, hey, who wants to be on Andy's podcast? And she was the one asking, and at the end, she was the one that said, I'll do it. So I thank you for that, Amanda. Thank you for being on here. And how was your morning so far?
It's been good. I've been awake for about an hour actually.
Yeah.
Got a lot accomplished so far. Well, not a lot, but a lot to me accomplished anyway.
There you go. You did say that you do wake up early and you feed cats and stuff. I did see one of your cats walking by a couple times. Yeah,
she likes to make her presence known. She's very vocal.
Very vocal. Yeah. Well, she was giving me a piece of her mind a little while ago. You said her name was Alice?
Alice, yeah. We name our cats after Tim Burton characters, so we have a lot of Tim Burton characters running around here.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. I know Tim Burton is the guy that did Edward Scissorhands?
Yeah, Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, Alice in Wonderland. Yeah.
Okay. And he's recently, isn't he doing Wednesday? Is that him? No.
Yes. No, not the Netflix series, but series. But he did do the Beetlejuice, and the original Beetlejuice.
That's who. Yeah, Beetlejuice. I'm thinking of Jen Ortega, but it was because of Beetlejuice. That's right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, and actually, one of our other cats is named Beetlejuice, and he's a 3-legged cat. So. 3-legged
cat. What happened to him?
We're not sure. My daughter adopted him from the Humane Society about 6 years ago. He is very sickly. She's also a cat person, especially. She loves animals. They swarmed her. I call her the cat whisperer, basically.
Oh, okay.
She meets an animal that's sick, and she wants to heal it.
That's awesome. We have ourselves. We had 2 dogs. We have 1 now. We have a cat. We had turtles, and now my son wants a duck. I'm like, no, you know what? No, I think I'm done. I think I had when the turtle passed away, a tortoise. My son was crying. When my 2 turtles died, then I started crying. When our dog died, we all cried.
Everyone cried.
Now we have a dog and a cat, and I told my wife, I'm done. I can't take
Yeah.
so much freaking heartbreak.
Yeah, it's sad. I lost 2 cats over the summer. One just here like a month ago, and it does really hurt your heart, so.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. They're part of the family and stuff, and every time I come back here to the podcast area, it's heartbreaking looking towards the spot where we buried the dog. We buried Max, so it's like I had a dream. I think I said it before. I think I've said it on the podcast already, but I had a dream that the hole was dug. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And that he was laying next to it, the same way that we buried him in the same position. And all of a sudden, he just started breathing. And then he came up to me, his tail was wagging and everything. I'm like, I told my wife, I think Max came to say bye to me last night.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, no, I saw Alice, and you were trying to keep a cat from coming in the house earlier. So
That's Gomez.
Gomez.
Yeah. He's one we're trying to bring inside, but we can't because he's not fixed, and he's not, he's a stray basically that he's kind of taken to me, but we can't get him inside it because he's not vaccinated and fixed, so we don't want to introduce him to our cats because we don't have him up to date on anything yet. Right. So we don't want him to interact with each other. Right. All okay with each other.
Makes sense. That's why our cat. I know sometimes my wife's like, "Oh, poor baby," because we don't let her outside, and because we don't know about the cats in the neighborhood, and plus, the neighbor has vicious dogs. We have our dogs may not be scary, but they're still huskies and they still hunt. So they've handed me a couple dead cats in the past, and I've called the pound, and the pound's like, "Hey, they stepped into uncharted waters, so that's on them." I'm like, okay, cool. I felt bad for it, but I'm like, someone just lost their cat. And so my cat won't survive. In fact, she ran out. The second time she ran out, she just stood within 10 minutes. She's at my son's window. Meow, meow. Let me in. Let me in. Let me in. I changed my mind.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool that you guys save animals. Both.
I like to feed them because they keep the rodent population down. Not that we have a whole lot, but I mean, it's a lot nice. It's nice to know that they're out there, because, there are mice outside. There's mice everywhere you go outside.
Right.
I've got 4 other cats, 4 little kittens. They're tiny that I feed also, but they're more on hard, they eat the hard food. So it's easier to keep them away from Gomez because he's more interacting with me. And these guys run and he chases them out of the yard because this is his territory. So
right.
But I like to keep them around for other reasons.
Right. No, that's good. That's great. No, that's great. I like I said, I don't scare the neighborhood cats away because there is a lot of houses here that have horses, and so there's flies like crazy, and there's obviously a lot of gophers, and I've started seeing some rats here and there. So my wife's like, "Hey, scare those cats away." I'm like, "Actually, no, they come in handy." So I'm gonna leave them alone. And she's like, "Okay, knock yourself out." I told her I'm even thinking of maybe leaving the garage cracked open a little bit so the cats can sneak in there, and maybe because I heard if they leave their scent, then mice and rats won't come around. So hopefully that's the case. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking of leaving the cracked door. But then again, my wife said, "But you let the dog loose, the cats aren't going to come in." I'm like, "Oh, you got a point. It's one or the other, right?" It's one or the other. She's like, "Pick your struggle. Pick your struggle."
They'll do their job though. They'll sneak in and your dog's not around and take care of what they got to take care of. So
no, I'm not a fan of mice and but no matter what, like I said, you can try your best to get rid of them, but you can't. They're gonna keep coming. They're gonna keep coming. Like the gophers, my wife said we should invest in traps. So these traps are really weird, and you dig them in the ground, and these guys go in and then, but. I'm like, I don't want to deal with the dead gopher, and I don't want to deal with buying a bunch of traps. So
sounds so gross.
Yeah, I really just let the dog roam because again, dogs are huskies. I don't let them out in the front yard because it would be so easy for somebody to crack the fence open and the dogs go with them. So now I'm doing it because I want the cats of the neighborhood not to be entering and teasing poor Nat that's in the house. And when she's in heat, my wife's out, "Poor baby, she needs to get some." And I'm like, "Sorry, I'm not gonna have Nat and a bunch of little kittens running around. No way, just because nope.
It's rough. I took care of stray kittens over the summer, 4 of them.
Yeah.
And it was rough. It was because they were still feeding off of mom, but then I was feeding them food, and it's just you worry about them every day out there in the wild. And
Yeah. I was gonna take her to get what is it called, neutered or spayed? Was the word?
Spayed, yeah.
And they wanted to charge me $500. I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're just gonna die horny, cat. I'm sorry.
Oh goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have like spa days there? Like they have them here where you can, for like a certain price, you can get like all their shots, all their blood work, and the spay or neuter for like a flat price of like a certain amount.
There is places that do that, but it's like you have to be residents of, like, for example, I'm not that far from LA. You have to be an LA resident, and I'm not. I'm in LA County, but not LA residents. And then
okay.
I don't live in Baldwin Park, and then there's no shelters or anything here in the city of La Puente. So it's like, well, the worst case scenario, I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm taking the cat to the pound. I'm going to tell it. But that's risking it, because my idea was, let's take the cat to the pound. Say we found her. Say that we would love to adopt her after the process. So see if we can get away with that.
Yeah.
But then there's a risk of chances that we don't get her back. So
exactly,
they might just like, hey, adopt, send her to somebody else. I'm like, oh no. So
yeah.
I know that'll break my kid's heart, so I don't want to do
take that chance.
Exactly. Yeah. So it is what it is. Once a month, the poor cat is meow. I'm sorry, Killy. Sorry, Killy.
Put her in a separate room for a couple days.
Right. Get the little spray bottle. Take that, Killy.
Right.
But no, I noticed that again when the dog is roaming the yard. So real quick, last story about a cat. Cat talk with Flat Tire on the podcast.
Right, new series.
Right. Let's start. Amanda, you can be the host.
Sweet.
What do you call it? So there's this. So the house was built in the 50s, right? So there's this little, like, we call it a hallway because it's a little room that leads from the kitchen. You go in one door from the kitchen into a different gate, like the house side gate, to the driveway. So there's this little tiny, I don't know, 4 by 3 by 5 little room. And we put her bed in there. We put her automatic water dispenser, her food dispenser, her little scratching post, her bed, everything, her litter box, everything's in there. The cat has her own freaking room.
That's cute. Does she have a TV and like a little couch?
Whoa.
My cat watches TV.
If we
had enough rooms, she'd have her own room.
If I can't put a TV in the bathroom or the kitchen, she's not getting a room in her TV in her room. Aww. But she does have her little bed and everything. And my son put we have these bicycle hooks on the gate. So sometimes she'll climb up there and you just see her just chilling up there. So yeah. I noticed that when now that we kind of let the dog out and roam the front yard, I noticed that her meowing is to a minimum because the dog catches her attention. So he's over there by the gate sniffing and everything. So it scares her. So I'm like, is that being cruel? But I mean, she calmed down. So
right.
There's that. But let's get enough of the cats and, but no, let's get to know Amanda. Amanda, again, I met Amanda through TikTok. She's part of a Parkinson's group. They have a group. It's a support system. There we go. And it's amazing what you come across on TikTok. It's sad that they still kind of want to ban it. Like I've made a lot of friends on TikTok, and there's still people that I check on. There's people that check on me, and now that I started going lives on the weekends, people are like, "Oh my God, you haven't been live since the last time you rode your bike." Yeah, that was like 2 years ago that I have not gone live. And so some similar faces. And like I said, I come across people like Amanda here. And last night she tells me, not even 12 hours ago, she tells me, "Hey, I'll do it. I'll be on your podcast." So here she is. Besides everything, I normally ask about, who you are, but a lot of these bullet point questions, a lot of these icebreaker questions are pretty much part of your story. So I'm not going to ask. Obviously, hobbies. Is there, besides your cats and animals rescuing, is there any other hobbies you do besides TikTok?
I make bracelets. Little tiny beaded bracelets. I have 50. I've made close probably to 100 by now.
Okay.
I sent out to friends. I've sold to a gentleman who's actually given them to his wife. She works at a community center that she gives them away to women and that come into our office, and so I gave him like 15 of them to give to his wife to put in her office, and so she's had them in her office for a couple months now, and I send them off to friends. My daughter gives them to her friends. Just anyone I come across, I give them to.
Okay, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then let's see here. You say you sold some of them. That's good.
Yeah.
Just like to friends or like on online or.
Just to this guy I tried to give them to him, but he wouldn't take them. Donations, I do take. Yeah, donations, I say donations are welcome, but not necessary, because I don't do it for profit. It's
Right.
just something fun I do just
Right.
to work my hands, because that little the beads are really, really small.
Uh-huh.
They're like smaller than like they're close to the size of like a pinhead.
Okay.
And so working with that, it takes a lot of concentration, a lot of finger work, and it's just like really, really. Don't put that in there. It says finger work. That sounds horrible.
What happened?
Don't say finger work in there. That sounds horrible. Okay, it takes a lot of concentration and a lot of working with your hands, and because they're so small, you have to really concentrate on getting the beads on that string.
Right. I think the last time I struggled with that was I was trying to put a string into the needle for trying to sew a shirt or something. Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I'm over here licking the tip and nope, nothing's working.
And it really works with your hands. A lot of us Parkinson's people, we call these like your T-Rex hands, because you don't really move them. You can't. They're always stiff. It seems like.
Okay, so you have to keep them moving.
My handwork is the bracelets that I make, the beaded bracelets
to keep them moving, to keep them active.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Let's see here. Okay, well, I guess we could just dive into it then. Start off with childhood and family. Can you tell us your early childhood? What was your early childhood like growing up with your mom and siblings?
I grew up with I lived with my mom and my brother, my younger brother. My dad wasn't around. He was in and out throughout my childhood. I had older siblings, but they were much older than me. They were I would say about 10, 15 years older than me. So I really didn't have a connection with them, a relationship until I was older. But yeah, I had fun. My mom, she, did whatever she could to keep us, clothed and housed. She put herself last, basically. It was me and my brother above everything else she needed or wanted. And my grandma did help us a lot too. She was there. She lived in a town about 15 minutes away. We'd always visit her every other weekend, just to get out of town and visit my grandma.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she was like a second mom to me. Me and her are really close.
I feel it. I'm with you on that one. My grandma was like my mom to me.
Yeah.
She was a part-time mama.
Yeah, exactly. I met my dad's mom a couple times when I was younger, but she didn't speak English, so that relationship was just really not there, I guess. Yeah, my Spanish is down to I understand what you're saying, but I cannot speak it back. I couldn't speak it back right now, even if I tried, because the Parkinson's just kind of messes with your speech so bad. But
yeah, my kids, we try to get them to speak Spanish. They can understand it, but they won't speak it. They're the Yo Sabo kids.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, that was it. We played with the neighborhood kids. You didn't come home till the lights were on. The outside lights were on. I was born in '83, so. I was, what do they call it? Not Generation X, but I wasn't.
No, you're a millennial.
They call it a zennial.
Zennial?
I'm in between. Yeah, in between those generations.
Because I was born '82, so I'm 1 year older than you.
Yeah, there's a group out there called zennials. Actually, it's like they were between 79, 85. We were born without technology, but grew into the technology age. Instead of not knowing technology or knowing it really well, we were kind of in between all that.
Yeah.
So that's what they call us, as a zennial.
It's we gotten to the point, I guess we're gotten to an age that I can't believe I caught myself asking my son for help with my phone. I'm like, no way. No, yeah. I'm not that guy. No, I'm not that guy. No. Figure it out, dude. I'm not that guy. I couldn't believe it. Because
the basics, but not enough where you have to ask your kids. I have to do that too.
Exactly. Exactly. Like for example, a couple weeks ago, my buddy texted me, "Hey, I haven't texted you in a while. My bad." He's pretty much saying he's not being a good friend by not checking in. And I use ChatGPT. "Hey, can you respond to this?" So I had this long phrase, a long message that said pretty much, I told ChatGPT to respond like if I was a wealthy golf player. And then my buddy's like, did you just ChatGPT me or the golf get to your head?
He caught you.
He caught me. No, yeah, he caught me. I guess he read it
That's funny.
I guess he looked at it and he read it to his wife and he's like, and yeah, his wife's like, yeah, he ChatGPT you.
That's awesome. I just barely downloaded that on my phone like 2 weeks ago, and I've used it like 3 times. I'm like, this is awkward.
You know what? Honestly, it's helped me with being a better podcaster when asking questions. Cause like, you know, there's been like my brother, for example, he was one of my critics and he's like, dude, the lady stated something and you didn't even have a follow-up question. Like you need to get better at following up questions. So right now I use ChatGPT to help me come up with questions based on bullet points that my guests shared. And you did a good job, last night. So, just trying my best to roll with them.
That was rough. I had to write out my whole story, which was too long to even send to you. And I was like, I got to bulletproof this. And
no worries.
I'm also sort of like I guess a writer. I mean, my mom was a writer and a reader in school. I was a writer and reader. I love to read anything, everything. I write stuff, a lot of different stuff, genres, anything that I write. My daughter loves to write too. I mean, it's just a family thing, but
no worries.
Writing all that, that's where I got all the questions. Was I had to put it on paper just to get questions for you because I was like, I can't think of anything off my head.
And the reason why I'm gonna go back to maybe some of the people that want to be a guest and are afraid or whatever, or are worried. Why? Well, okay, if he's the podcast host, why is he asking me for bullet points or questions? Well, because example. I was going through the questions with Amanda here before we started recording, and there was a question that was on there that she was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to answer that one. Again, this was a question that I came up with based on her bullet points that she also did not feel comfortable answering. So it's like, I need to know what the guest is willing to share so that I know what to ask. And I like to share the questions because, again, example, Amanda was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to answer that one. So I'm okay with that. And that's the reason why, because I bumped heads with one lady one day and she's like, but you're the guest. You should be able to know what to ask me and stuff. I don't know what to ask you if I don't know what you want to share. And we kind of like bumped heads back and forth, and like she wants to do the podcast and but she wants me to come up with questions. But then as I get to know her better and better, she starts talking about, oh yeah, I wouldn't share that. I'm like, okay, thank you. You just gave me a reason why I like to ask people for bullet points.
And you don't want generic questions. You want questions that pertain to the person you're talking to.
Exactly. Exactly. I can ask anybody, hey, do you like the color blue? Do you like the color red? No. Do you drink water? No.
Every day, all day.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
Do you eat food?
Yeah.
Okay. See, everyone's going to answer the same.
Yeah, exactly. You want something individualized.
Yeah. So that's why, again, to guests, to people that want to be a guest and, you know, are wondering why I ask you for questions, this is why. Because like I said, I'd rather you answer questions that you're going to feel comfortable answering compared to me asking you, so what was it like walking on the moon? Okay, well, you never walked on the moon. I didn't know that because you didn't tell me. So anyways, so let's get back over here. You said your dad was in and out of the picture. So how was that relationship when you were younger?
Interesting, I guess. You know, he was there when he was there. He'd show up, but then when he wasn't, he never was a thought unless he was there. Real
quick, you see that? Guess she hesitated. She hesitated. Again, we went over the questions earlier. Yeah. She hesitated. This is why I asked for bullet points.
Yeah.
Continue.
I mean, yeah, he was, you know, it's kind of like he was like an afterthought. I hate to say that about my dad, you know, because I do love him. He's no longer with us. You know, that was a hard time when he passed away. But I mean, you know, it's like he was there, he wasn't. You know, you never thought about him if he wasn't. You know, that's basically it.
Gotcha.
You know, it was just that's how it was.
Yeah.
Sadly, I knew I had older brothers and sisters as well, half siblings, but you know, they were also that. You know, they were there. You know, and now I've gotten close to one of my brothers, which is pretty awesome. You know, he's one of my older brothers. You know, we send cat memes every day to each other. I love that. You know,
that was going to be the next. I'm sorry, go for it.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that was actually going to be the next question. How did having half sisters and little brother shaped your family life?
Yeah, you know, they were there. I knew they were there. I knew they were around, but you know, they were living their own lives. They were in their early 20s, you know, I guess when I was like younger. So they were off doing their own thing, you know. So that was cool. But you know, he now one of my brothers, you know, like I said, my older one, I'm getting close with. We talk, we text, we send funny cat memes to each other. The other ones are they're out there. I know that I talk to them once in a while, but that's okay. You know, that's kind of the relationship we have. My little brother, however, he lives like a block and a half away. They've got 6 kids, and I talk to him like every day.
That's
Same
awesome.
as his wife. I can go see them whenever I want. That relationship is always there because I lived with him for years of my life too. So
That's amazing. Yeah, no, and don't feel bad about the whole sibling thing. My mom had 12 of us, and I talked to one on a weekly basis, and we'll get on the phone and we'll be talking for like 4 hours. There's times we're on the phone for 4 hours, and I don't even know what we talked about, but we talked on the phone for 4 hours. And then there's another one that checks in from time to time. My sister, I try to call her on the weekends. She's gonna say that's a lie, and and then there's another brother that I didn't really grow up with him. My grandma took custody of him since he was born, because my mom was only 14 years old when she had him. Oh. So my grandparents took custody of him since day one. So he was more of an uncle until I spilled the beans. Apparently, my grandma told me I spilled the beans by telling him, "Hey, bro, you're my brother." And my grandma always threw that in my face, that you are the one that told him. I'm like, well, I didn't know. I was like 4 years old, Mom. Don't beat me. Don't beat me. It was an accident. Nah, she always like, it's funny because she would always like remind me of that story and remind me that the day that the courts asked me who did I want to go live with, my mom or her, that I was like, my mom. So because the thing about my grandma, and my brothers will say it, to my grandma, I was her favorite. Why? Because she knew the life that I was living as a kid. And she did not approve of that. So my brother, the one that I talked to on a weekly basis, like, he did say, no, hands down, bro. I wouldn't even get jealous, bro. Hands down, you were her favorite. Like I don't know if you see that picture frame over here in the back. Okay, that was hers. That was my grandma's. And when I came to her house for the first time and saw it there, I mean, there was more pictures of me and my kids than there was anybody else. You know what I mean? But yeah, no. She always said that. She never said I loved you. Towards the end, she did. And but yeah, no. She always threw in my face like that. I'm the one that pretty much threw her under the bus by saying, "Hey, dude, you're my brother, man." And so, you know, we didn't have a relationship, but you know, as we got older and realized, hey, that's my brother, and every once in a while, send him a message. Hey, how you doing? How you been? Happy birthday. Stuff like that. How's it going? And stuff like that. The only thing him and I have in common is that we both I like wrestling. He loves wrestling. So at least sometimes we can share stories. Hey, what do you think about that John Cena thing, or what's going on? So we have stories. We have something to share, to compare stories with, but have a topic to talk, like a reason to talk. But other than that, like I said, my mom had 12 of us. And I don't talk to 3/4 of them. So,
my dad had 4, 5, 6, 7 of us. We don't talk about the youngest. She's a non person to us. But yeah, it's just you know, they were just there. My oldest one of the older ones, we get along just great. You know, we talk, text, whatever. I like the relationship how it's been building since my dad passed away. Right.
Yeah. Well, now that he's gone, like, you guys get together more, like your siblings, or
a half brother, he
lives the cat guy.
Yeah, he lives across the state, so we actually just go over like TikTok or Facebook Messenger a lot. Yeah. Okay. My little brother lives in town, so we get along. We get along just fine. But he lives like a block and a half away from me. So
sorry if I had you repeat your answers, okay. Because I was looking at when you were saying about your dad passing, I looked at the monitor to see what was the next question coming up, and I was like, I wasn't paying attention. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
But speaking of teen pregnancy, what was it like finding out you were going to be a mom at 17?
Interesting. It wasn't expected. You know, you use everything you can to prevent that, but it happens, you know. But I would never say she was a mistake. You know, Roseanne, you remember the TV show Roseanne? She says it the best. When DJ asks Roseanne if he was a mistake, she says, "No, you were a surprise." And he goes, "What's a surprise?" what does that mean? Or, you know, something along those lines. And she says, well, basically a surprise is something you didn't know until you had it. That's what she was. And you wouldn't go back and change it.
Need auto insurance or an SR22? Like now, SolarX Insurance gets you covered fast. No license, no problem. We speak your language, shop the best rates, and get you back on the road today. Call 877-736-4719. That's 877-736-4719. Visit slxinsurance.com or call now 877-736-4719. Quick, easy, done. SolarX Insurance. Drive with confidence.
You know, it shifted my life, the outcome of my life, but you know, that's how it went. You know, I didn't do what I did what I had to do. I quit school. I went to work full time to help pay her needs, her medical costs, anything that she needed. And her dad was the same, in and out. You know, his parents did not want to have anything to do with her. Dad was okay with it, but not his mom. His mom was just totally against it. It was about 3 years, and she finally came around, and you know, it was just.
So, the future, your daughter's grandma wanted nothing to do with the child.
Yeah, on her dad's side, yeah.
Before even you even had her.
Yeah. I was not allowed in public with her, being pregnant with him.
Oh,
I was not allowed to go in public with him anywhere.
Well,
Yeah.
I was going to ask how did becoming a teen mom change your life, but I see that. No.
Yeah.
I mean,
but yeah, she grew up with adults, so she grew up smart. You know, she'd had no kids her age around at home because she was the only child. So she grew up with my mom, me, and my grandma, my aunts, my cousins.
Right.
Basically, as people she spoke to. So, you know, that was cool. You know, she grew up pretty good, pretty normal.
So again, anything else? Like when you became a teen mom, what else changed in that? Like, I know some people lose friends in high school, and.
Well, I actually, one of my best friends did get pregnant, not at the same time, but shortly thereafter. And I gave her like advice, I guess, the best advice you can give another 17-year-old. And
True.
She was actually pregnant. Yeah, she had her. Yeah, Angel's about 6-8 months younger than Kate, my daughter, is. But yeah, I gave her clothes, you know, that she could wear, and you know, her situation was obviously different than mine. But I kept a lot of friends, actually, surprisingly.
Yeah.
I still talk to a lot of people that I was close friends with in high school. That's still
awesome.
talk to a lot of them today.
That's awesome.
But they're just now starting their journey of parenthood too. I am already done with it. They have like 6, 7, 8-year-olds, and I'm like, have fun, guys. I'm done with that part. Good luck.
Yeah, my kids wipe their own ass already.
Yeah. My kid can drive. Almost rent a car now.
There you go. Yeah, that's why I made a joke the other day. I'm like, yeah, you really don't. I made a joke because my wife's siblings all still have little ones, right? I think the oldest is like, I'm gonna say 9 and under. The youngest one is only a few months old, and we were at a birthday party last weekend for the 3-year-old, and so my wife's like, we're done. Like, you hate to see your kids grow up. You love to see your kids grow up, but you hate to see your kids grow up. And so we're in that stage where I'm like, you get to a point that, hey, does life get difficult? I'm like, nah, man. The older they get, the more they wipe their ass, the more you don't have to give a shit about them.
Yes.
The more you don't have to give a shit about them. Like, the wife and I can take off, and they're like, really, Dad? You don't give a shit about us? I'm like, no, it's not what I meant. That's how you said it. I'm like, okay, my bad, bro.
Yeah.
Wrong choice of words. But the moment they wipe their ass,
yes.
It's funny because one day we went. There was a get together with the family, right? And they were just acting a fool. This had to have been like a year or two ago, right? Acting a fool. And I told my wife, well, we're going to go to your brother's house, and they're not coming. Well, and even my wife was kind of against it. She's like, well, why? Because they're acting a fool. They're being disrespectful. They didn't do their chores. So why are we going to take them to a family function where it's rewarding to them? Why is it rewarding to them? Because they love hanging out with their cousins.
Yeah.
And So she was like, okay, well, you're the boss. I'm like, okay, that's right, I'm the boss. And we left them home. We took their phones and we left them home. If we needed to get a hold of them, all we had to do was call the Alexa. And everybody's over there like, hey, why did, where are the boys at? My mother-in-law's like, oh, really? No, pobrecitos. No. Grandma, they're old enough to wipe their ass. They're old enough to stay home. Mm-hmm. And I put a list on the board. The toilet better be scrubbed. The clothes better be washed. Blah, blah. I gave them extra chores just to be an asshole. And you're not allowed to turn on the TV. I will cut the Wi-Fi if I have to from the house, from the phone. Don't mess with me, bro. And so when we were at the gathering, my wife saw all the little kids. Where's Nikki? Where's Jojo? And where's Nikki? And where's Jojo? And my wife's like, she caught it and she said, yeah, you're right. This would have been rewarding to them. Yeah. And I think after that, we left the gathering. Her and I went and had sushi. And I mean, it was fun, right? We brought dating without kids. Yeah, we brought them some. But the thing about my rule is never penalize a child with food. And because I grew up being penalized with food, so it's like my thing is like, no, we went and had sushi. Yes, it's a luxury meal for us because we are not wealthy people, and so we showed up and the clothes was folded, whatever chores were on the list were done, and they were just sitting there watching TV. Like we walked in and we saw halos. Okay, we walked in and we saw halos.
They had them ready to go for you, Dad.
Yeah, and they're like, actually, because like I said, they were fighting and bickering, and so like some people have like the shirt that they put on their kids to hug it out.
Oh yeah, the sibling shirt.
Yeah, so ours was the sibling chores, and they have to work together as a team to get the chores done if they want to watch TV. So
that's awesome.
We did that, and my wife, like I said, some of the siblings, they don't see eye to eye with me, but some of them kind of like, yeah, well that makes sense. I mean, I get it. They're acting a fool. You're gonna bring them here, and there was just gonna be a reward for them. So, yeah, once they wipe their own ass, you can.
They're good.
They're good. Let's see here. Did I ask already what challenges did you face? No, I did. I think I did that. What challenges did you face raising your daughter at such a young age? Any challenges?
Just the looks you get, from walking around with the baby, and you obviously are younger walking around with a kid, baby, whatever. From other people that are just like, there are a lot of judgmental people out there.
Yeah.
I did, like I said, I dropped out of school. I didn't finish. It was 2 years. I dropped out in 10th grade, so I didn't go 11th or 12th, but I did end up getting my GED about 6 years later, I guess. Which was easy because, you score a certain amount of points, and it covers the rest of the points that you don't get the higher grades on. I guess in here in Nebraska, that's what it was like. But I scored way above the charts on your reading and writing because, that's what I do. And so that covered the math portion of it because I wasn't very good at math. Surprisingly, when I became an accountant later, which was interesting. But that's, I had a lot of family support because, that's how my family was. We supported each other during a lot of the hard stuff. And I had my mom, my grandma, my aunt. They loved her. The moment she was born, they were just there to just be with her.
That's amazing. Again, that's how it happened. Like here in my wife's side of the family. The moment the first grandson was born, like everybody was hands down. Boom. Okay.
Yeah.
Homegirl still going to school. Hands down. My wife lived in the town where I lived, and she would drive on her days off for work, all the way over here to help out and pretty much to clock in to help raise my nephew, who was the oldest nephew until my boys came in, and then now they're the older ones.
Yeah.
And that it was hands down. So that's awesome. Support system is great. Yeah. So how did it feel when you earned your GED?
Good, great. Because then I knew I could move up in the world of, because at that time I was working at a bank. So instead of being a teller, I could work my way up into being a banker. Possibly becoming a little bit higher rank than that even. So
right. I
knew the whole world of new job opportunities opened up for me at that time.
Awesome.
But also proved to my daughter that look, you can do anything you put your mind to.
Besides a teller and a banker, you said you had only 4 jobs in your life?
Yeah.
That's why you're laughing.
Yeah. A lot of people just look at you and they're like, you only had 4. It's like, yeah, I don't like to do a whole lot of changing. I don't like to learn. I don't mind learning things, but I just like to stick with what I like to do, what I know. Because I like to be stable. I don't like that feeling of not knowing what's going to happen next.
Now I'm trying to think of how many jobs that I have. Holy shit. Well, what stands out the most from your time working before your diagnosis?
The last job I had, it was probably my favorite job that I had throughout the whole 3-4 jobs I had.
Yeah. You said let me see here. You said that your daughter is now your caregiver? She before, back in like 2000, when I first got sick, she did step up and take care of me. Like, I was like really sick to the point, like I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk. I was bad. Like, you would almost think that I was like really, really close to dying. Like my coworkers like honestly thought I was gonna die. That's how sick I was. Oh no. Because the tremors, when you have Parkinson's, you shake some. I was tremor dominant, so I shook all the time. And when you shake all the time, you can't really you burn calories, more calories than you intake. You burn more calories than you can intake in a day. Right. So I was shaking all the time. And I got to the point where I was losing muscle mass. I lost over 100 pounds in like a 9-month period. So she ended up taking, stiffing up and taking care of me. She ended up, doing the things that I can do, brushing your hair, simple things, brushing your hair, taking a bath, showering, feeding yourself, walking, showering, just anything that you take every day for granted, she had to do for me because I couldn't do it. Wow. Yeah. At 19 years old. Her age, she was 19.
Yeah. She was 19 when she stiffed up to be my caretaker. Yeah.
I asked my kids, so hey, when I get old, who's wiping my ass? And they both said neither one of them. So that's something she was not allowed. I could function enough to do that myself. Was like, no, that's why I draw the lines for her. She's not going to go that far. Well, I make it as a joke. And I realize that my boys will not love me when I get that old. So, they're like, Dad, we're putting you in a home. I'm like, damn. All right, cool, whatever. Yeah. Whatever. Well, good. Kudos to her. Good job. Yeah,
I hate the fact that she had to do it, but I mean, at the time, no one else.
Exactly.
My mom would have done it, but I mean, no one else should have been there. Was not there to help. Exactly. Was not there to do it.
Well, I mean, like I said, kudos to her. Good job, daughter.
She actually got a job purposely working from home because she did not want to put me in the care of someone else.
That's awesome.
A stranger is what she said. So she works from home now too. So
that's amazing. That's great. My cousin, she has been her mom's caregiver, and her mom just pretty much turned 99 years old, and she's been her caregiver for for a long time already. And she says, Primo, this is why she survives this long, because she's being taken care of by people that love her instead of people in a home that are just there to collect a paycheck. And I'm like, damn, you know what? Shit, you kind of have a point. So.
And like I said, we live with my mom right now, and she helps out as well, so she's there as well for me. So it's pretty nice to have the family I have that helps. My sister-in-law's been by to help me a few times. My brother helps out as well. So. Okay. But those two are the main people that help me out the most.
That's amazing. Let me see here. I think I lost. This question wasn't in order, but you said you lost a pregnancy. But was this before or after you were diagnosed?
It was before. Back in August of 2016, we were expecting, and September. It was a couple of days before my birthday that year, September 7th, 8th, I think. Ultrasound showed that there was no heartbeat.
So you just recently had a birthday, or you're coming on a birthday?
9/9, September 9th.
Oh, happy belated birthday!
Thank you. Yeah, 42. I just turned 42 on Tuesday.
And for the record, I did not ask the age. She said it all on her own.
Yes, 42. I will say that I'm 42 years old. I'm a Virgo. I am a neat freak. I like things organized. Classic Virgos, I guess.
The cat that walked by earlier, not one hair was out of place. I believe it.
Right. She's perfection.
So you say you had just found out around your birthday?
Yeah, that baby had no heartbeat.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I let nature take its course, did what it had to do. And so October is Pregnancy and Infant Awareness Loss. They call it PAIL for short. Every year I light a candle for my baby, which we named River.
Okay.
You know, because we didn't know if it was a boy or girl. I feel strongly that it was a boy because every pregnancy in my family has started with a girl first and then had their boy second. My cousin, my mom, my aunt, my brother, girls first, boys second. So we believe that this was a boy.
Okay.
I light a candle for him. I light a candle for my brother and sister-in-law's baby, Remy, and I light one for my grandma's firstborn, who was lost after birth.
Okay.
So yeah, we light 3 candles. Just,
so that's
okay.
So that's in October. I did not know that.
Yeah, October, and that's also October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which
It
my
is.
grandma did lose her life to breast cancer.
It is. I actually look forward to October because our company gave us a pink shirt with the company logo on it, and I like wearing it. I don't know. I like wearing it. I look forward to October. So that's coming up, guys.
Yeah.
And then let's see here. So you were just diagnosed in 2020.
Yeah.
What
5 years. Yeah, 5 years ago.
What led up to that diagnosis?
Started with the tremor in my my left shoulder. It was more actually about prior to that. I had a twitch in my pinky for years, and then I got sick in September of I think 1918, and that's kind of what set it off. Like triggered it to kind of pick up speed. I guess I don't know if you want to call it that. But then after that, I got really sick. The tremor started in my shoulder, went down to my arm. And then I went to my primary was not listening to me, paying attention. She thought I don't know what she's thinking, but I went to see another doctor, and he took me serious. He had me see an endocrinologist and internalist. They weren't finding anything, so he sent me to a different doctor 4 hours away because he had no answers for me, and he was not a specialist. So he thought, he'd send me to another doctor who specialized in movement disorders. And it took me 3 months to get in because it was COVID happening. So, everything was pretty much closed down. So that was hard to get into any place to have anything done, basically. By that time was a time where I couldn't walk. I don't even remember the whole appointment really because I was so out of it. But my daughter was there, and the doctor took one look at me, and she was like, "Yeah, I can guarantee you've got Parkinson's."
And what went through your head?
I kind of already figured it out. I kind of knew it was happening because that's what my doctor at home had said. He goes, I think this is what you have. He goes, but I can't confirm it because I'm not a specialist in this field. So I pretty much had it.
But I guess Parkinson's is not something you can hide. I mean, you're trembling.
No.
You're moving.
Yeah, some people they don't have the symptom, what do I call it? They have the non-movement symptoms. I had the movement symptoms, like the tremoring.
Okay.
Other people show different symptoms of Parkinson's.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that with Matt last week, where I'm talking to him and I thought the screen froze, and he's, "Oh no, that's just my face." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, some of us, they have that. I can't think of the word offhand, but we don't have the face movement to express our. I'll have to get back to you with that word, but it's like they don't have the facial expressions to show their the facial expressions, like expressions anymore.
Well, you know what? The next couple of questions you kind of already answered earlier. Before you knew what it was, how did it feel having your daughter taking care of you? You kind of already expressed that. You did mention earlier that you did lose 100 pounds.
Yeah, that's what scared everyone is my weight loss. It was so rapid. But I mean, like I said, when you're shaking that much and you can't eat to keep the calories on, you lose weight so fast.
Were you working when you found out you had Parkinson's? Because the next question is, how did your boss support you?
My boss at the time, I still talk to him to this day. He was amazing. Made sure I had appointments off, came back, talked to me at made sure I was okay every day. He was back there with me, just making sure I had what I needed to do what I needed to do.
Right.
When I decided to not work anymore, he was like, he was going to approach me with the topic of, maybe you need to figure this out because you're obviously getting to the point where you probably shouldn't be working, he supported me and all that, Most bosses don't do that. Most bosses want to dismiss you and get you out of there, but he was very supportive of helping me do what I had to do to get me to not be working anymore.
Most bosses would have been like, "You're fired."
Yeah. I had a great support system
That's
at work
awesome.
too. And I was me and another, I worked at a trash company, so it was just me and another female in the office, but it was a world dominated of men, but they were all there to take care of you and to just make sure you're okay. It was amazing.
Again, so some of these questions seem like you already answered them in the past. So sorry if I'm asking questions that you already answered. Pretty much, how do you spend your days now? And I mean, besides TikTok and your kitty willies. Oh, sorry, I call my cat Killy Willy Billy.
That's funny.
Besides your Killy Willies, what do you? How do you spend your days?
I pretty much make my bracelets, watch TV, watch the cats. I have. Don't laugh. I have cat cameras outside that I watch my cats on. I'm that person. I'm that person. If you go back on my TikTok, you'll see like multiple like videos of different cats at different angles. But you know, they're like my kids. So I mean, and I have them all named. Me and my daughter sit there and we find the cats. We pick out who they look like and we name them. So
well, thank you for not getting offended by calling you a nerd, but
I love it. I read. You know, I write. You know, just pretty much, you know, clean the house, just keep all my stuff at home, you know.
I don't get me wrong, I might not have cat cameras, but I have family members, in-laws cameras, so I help my mother-in-law set up her camera, so I have access to her house. I help my brother. I help my brother-in-law set up cameras at his house, so I have access to them. So my wife wanted to go for that party. They were going to build this 20 by 30 like canopy, right, tart thing, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, the only one that knows how to do it well is Andy. And I'm like, oh great, they're gonna ask me. So I went on the camera, like I went on my app, and about like maybe 1:30, I'm like, babe, they're already building it. Fuck yeah. So we went over there damn well knowing it was already built. Hey, what's going on? You guys need help?
That's awesome.
Hell yeah, hell no. That thing is massive. No way.
Oh goodness.
Well,
I like that.
I'm assuming this next question, your answer is going to be TikTok, because who makes up your support system today?
My family, a lot of my family, friends. The TikTok community I've been in, you know, they're all great people. You know, my nieces and nephews, you know, they're so funny. Shaylee, my oldest niece, she's growing up with me shaking, so she has no clue about, you know, what it was like before.
Right.
But I have younger ones who ask, Nanas, why do you shake? And, you know, it's hard to explain to a child why you shake if they haven't grown up, you know, so you have to kind of give like the doll down version, you know, something in your head that just don't work right. And then they're like, oh, okay, and they go along with their day.
Right.
You know, so they're, you know, it's so funny how they've gotten so used to it now too, that they're just like, okay, whatever.
My sarcastic answer to that would have been like, show them who Michael J. Fox is, show them how cool of a guy he is, and say only cool people shake.
Right. Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm sorry if that was offensive to my listeners. I'm so sorry if I was offensive.
No. But if you know, you know, we talk like that. Yeah, he is pretty cool. But you know, if you watch him, you know, that's how bad I was in the beginning. Too.
Really?
I would. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, the only relief I got was sleep. That's why I slept all the time. I love to sleep because that was the only time I ever felt like I could just get away from it.
And then,
you know,
I know the next question has two questions in one, but I'm gonna ask it in like separate. You also have lupus? Did I say that right?
Yeah, lupus. Yes.
When did that happen?
I was diagnosed with that first before Parkinson's, like a year prior to that. But then they took the diagnosis back because they weren't sure that's what it was. Because we were trying to figure out the tremors, the shaking first, and some lupus patients do have the shaking, but the labs, I guess, weren't matching up with that diagnosis. Okay. Because the blood work was too low to show it. But then January of 2021, they did more blood work, and once again, it was high again. So they said, okay, well, you've got lupus on top of Parkinson's.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's why you're experiencing joint pain as well. Because I was having joint pain in my toes and my hands, pain that you don't normally have with Parkinson's.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And so I got double whammy there.
And that's the question. It says, how is, because I was like, wait, how am I going to ask this question when no one even, she's never even said anything about lupus. So the question was, how has living with both Parkinson's and lupus changed your outlook on life?
Some days, you know, you have to figure out what's causing your pain some days. It's like, is it the lupus or is it the Parkinson's? There are days when I go through flares and my body just hurts all over, and I know that's the lupus. So I sleep because there's nothing you can do to help the lupus, basically. there's no cure for it either. So I mean, you just have to sit and wait the flare out.
You said something about sleeping right now. Do you have the same issue that Matt has? You guys can't sleep?
Yeah.
See, you guys are educating me.
I went to bed.
You guys are educating me a lot. Like,
yeah, 1 a.m. Now I was awake at 3:30. So I got 2.5 hours of sleep. I was awake about a half hour before you were awake.
Really? Yeah, I woke up. My alarm woke me up at 3:30, and I kind of lay there for a few minutes. I'm like, no, just another half an hour, and then I'm just like, now get up, and I got up, and then I sent you a message only because I knew that there's a possibility you were going to be awake.
Yeah, I was.
And when I went to start this conversation, I noticed, oh, dude, she saw this message an hour ago. Damn, she was up.
Yeah. I'm an early bird and late night owl, I guess is what you want to call it. But yeah, I do take a nap in the afternoon, but I sleep about 45 minutes because that's all my brain can sleep. Yeah.
Well, last night.
But there are days where, there are days where I do sleep. I can sleep for like hours on end, but that's when I'm going through a flare. So my body says, no, you need to rest and sleep. So I do what my body tells me to do. Last
night when I joined in on your guys' to watch you guys' live, I was actually way past my bedtime. It was way past. It was like almost 9:30, and I was like already like, nope, I gotta go to bed. Yep. But we were still on about. We had just gotten home from something like like I said, I think we stopped by somewhere, and we weren't home. Let's just say put it that way. We left the house like at 5. We didn't get home till like 8 o'clock, 8:30.
Yeah.
So usually when you're out and about, you're not paying attention to the stuff you're supposed to be paying attention to. So I was like, I'm gonna sit here and pay attention to the stuff I'm supposed to be paying attention to, and go up from there. Let's see here. Looking back at your journey, what do you want people to take away from your story?
I know we didn't talk about it, but I want to say one thing.
Go for it. Your mic is yours.
You cannot heal in a place where you got sick. So if you're in a situation that you feel like you like me, I was in a situation that I should have been out of, but I was not healthy enough to get out of it. But once I was medicated and ready to move on, I did what I had to do. I packed up, me and my daughter left, and I started to get better mentally and physically, her as well. So I mean, if you're in a place that you cannot heal, get out.
Right.
I heard that and I was like, that applies perfectly. You cannot heal in a place you got sick in.
You cannot heal in a place that you got sick in. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And
so just move on.
What do you call it? Matt shared a website with last episode. Do you want to? You are very welcome to share that website as well. The Parkinson's.
The Parkinson's Foundation, and there's also a They have two. There's Parkinson's Foundation and the it's something Phineas. I cannot think of the other. There's two foundations that they really think highly of.
You want to, if you can, you want to educate us a little bit on those foundations, what they do.
Yeah. They raise money, give support. They also educate anyone actually on Parkinson's symptoms, research that they've got going on, foundations that you can support that help with the research fund, just any support you can get, help you, I guess, find communities in your area that you can go to with support groups. But a lot of us are young onset, so we have no one to talk to that is our age. In my area, there's no one my age that I can find that, under age 50 that have Parkinson's.
Right.
So it's really hard for me to find support because everyone's, in their older ages. And that's why it's hard for us to find any support groups. That's why we go online, because we know the system. So you find everyone on TikTok to talk to, and that's how you get your support.
Right. I blanked on a question Matt had said last week, and then I was going to ask you the same, and now it doesn't even make sense because I can't even think about it.
I know my brain kind of went this a little bit ago. I know I had the foundations in my head ready to go, and then I just lost it.
No worries. Like I said, I can always Google some. I know Matt gave me one last week. I can use the same website to play on your description. But I'm drawing a blank on the question that I was going to ask based on Matt last week. Because look, so Matt was able to stay still most of the time.
Yeah.
And you have been literally moving the entire time.
My feet are constantly going. It's my feet that are constantly going. My upper body, it's about 10 minutes before my next dose of medication. So I'm starting to feel it come on a little bit stronger. Okay.
Well, we're almost done here, so you
oh yeah,
can
no,
go
that's
take
fine.
your medication.
I'm totally good with it still. I can still go.
Yeah. Well, we are kind of coming towards the end of the podcast. To my listeners, if I missed a question or something, sorry. She, like I said, she asked, like she, just like Matt last week, she jumped on board and said, "Hey, I'll do it. You don't have a guest? I'll do it." And she was actually asking people, hey, who wants to be on Flat Tire podcast for me? And since nobody came on, she was like, "I'll do it." And so, what do you call it? The next question, the last question. I normally ask questions to parents that have children underage. You don't happen to have children underage,
no.
But your daughter has been your rock.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you is, if you have any message if your daughter were to listen to this episode, what message, based on her being your caregiver, pretty much putting her life in a way on hold, what message do you have for your daughter?
Go live your life. Go do what you have to do. She is working. She's, saving her money to, buy herself a car and just do what she's got to do. She's enjoying her life right now. And it's like, don't worry about me. I'm okay. My mom's here to, help out. And, she went and visited her girlfriend a couple weeks ago in another state, and are you going to be okay? It's like, I'm fine. Go do what you have to do. This is your break. Go be free.
Go
have fun. Go enjoy it. Just, go what you got to do, get out of here for a while.
That's awesome.
And she did, she goes to concerts over the summer, throughout the year. It's like, just go and, have your time, I took, how many years of that, not took it, I borrowed it.
Yeah.
So it's like, go do what you have to do, go enjoy your life. Don't worry about me. If you want to go have fun,
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. We tell our kids too. We tell the boys, hey, just live your life, guys. Live your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me get into this little towards the end spiel stuff. Again, guys, the hotline is there, 818-806-8595. If you have a Parkinson's question, just go ahead and ask the question. If you don't want me to play it on a future podcast episode, no problem. I won't. Or if you do, I will. You have a question for Amanda, question for Matt, question for myself, feel free to leave a voice message. I say voice message because you can easily star 67 and call me anonymous, so that I don't have access to your phone number. You can also message me on Instagram, Ride With Me Podcast, TikTok, YouTube, and Rumble are all FTA_podcast. Follow me on Spotify. You can listen on Pandora, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Alexa, and YouTube. You can rate Spotify. You can review on Apple Podcasts. You can comment on Spotify, follow and share. Again, thank you to the few followers that hit me up this week. I appreciate you guys. And again, to my sponsor, this episode was brought to you by SolarX Insurance. Fast, friendly, and affordable coverage you can count on. Need an SR22, ride a motorcycle, already have insurance, SolarX has you covered. They help all drivers no matter the situation. Call today at 877-736-4719. That's 877-736-4719. And get back on the road with confidence. Back to Amanda. Amanda, do you want to share your socials?
My TikTok is, I think, Amanda, like MANDAJ99. Okay. And Facebook, I think, is just my name, Amanda. I don't know if it's okay to put my last name.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not really
Don't worry about Facebook.
TikTok or Facebook. I don't know what my Instagram is though. I don't know if it's the same as TikTok or not, but I know, I'm on TikTok most, so
it doesn't,
that's where you find me the most.
Whether you said it right or not, I'm still gonna get the description from you. I'm still gonna be able to.
Tag it. You'll find it.
I got you. Beetlejuice.
Yeah, he looked up. He was like, "What's going on?"
Nothing concerns you, cats. Just us humans.
He's like, what?
But Amanda, again, thank you for getting up early in the morning and doing this. Thank you for stepping up, because like I said, I had cancellations, and the thing is like, don't tell me last minute, guys. Please tell me at least a week in advance, or at least 4 days in advance. If I have to sit here and still wait for a message, okay, you know what? They haven't read it. I'm next. Who's next? So I thank you. I thank you for taking the time, and like I said, I appreciate you, and go take your medication. And Amanda,
yes,
like I end every podcast, thank you for riding with me.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Indie Podcast. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean.